What up, what up? Say so, G. Back with another topic, back with another video. So the title of this video is going to be networking can save your life. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers that subscribe to my channel. I endeavor to keep pushing these videos out to give you leverage to better yourselves. Just get into it. So why do I say that networking can save your life? So if anybody that followed my channel for the last, I say maybe like 2 weeks now, been talking about, layoffs, furloughs, people getting terminated, all these other things, and now I am a part of that list right now, as far as being furloughed, right? So actually, I think tomorrow is going to be the last day that I record here in DC for the time being, because tomorrow is going to be my last day at the job until this furlough lifts. Who knows, y'all? You know what I'm saying? I have faith in God. I know things are going to work out for my good, regardless of the outcome. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that. But I'm not going to front. There's a good chance that I probably would not be at this job ever again. Because it all depends on how long the furlough is, right? And, my thing is that I can float for a good little while. I really can, you know what I'm saying? But, I was talking to my wife yesterday about it. I was like, do we really want to dig into our investments and savings to float for, God knows how long? You know what I'm saying? Floating is only when it's like absolutely necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like when there's no income coming in, or you lose a lot of income. But, as far as like how folks would say, or financial advisors would say that, that you need at least 6 months worth of income in case you lose a job or you get sick or something like that, which is cool. I totally get that, you know what I'm saying? But my thought process is that if I have 6 months left saved up of income to help my family float until I get another job, I need to get another job as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? That's my mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, over 30 days is a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? Because the money that I'm using to float can be used for other things. You know what I'm saying? Other emergencies. If I'm able-bodied and I'm able to get out here in the job market and actually find a job, I'm not going to sit here for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and hope that the furlough lifts and I get back to that particular job. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any financial sense to me. Because in theory, I literally could drain all 6 months of my reserves as far as like money I use to float, and then 6 months later they're like, oh, you can come back to work. Now a big part of my nest egg is gone. It's not a good look, you know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, I've already started talking to other companies. I actually have an interview tomorrow. The last day that I'm at my job, I had to go to an interview right after I turn my stuff in. You know what I'm saying? I don't play around, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to don't mess with my money. You know what I'm saying? Do not mess with my money, yo. That's something that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? I'll float as long as I can. You know what I'm saying? But it's not optimal for me to float for a long period of time and drain all of my floating money. Doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I would suggest to people. It's not financial advice. You know what I'm saying? But if you have money to float, you shouldn't be in the mindset you can just sit there and just live off of your floating money for a long period of time. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make financial sense. You know what I'm saying? You should put yourself in position to get a job as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? And save that floating money, because you never know what happens in life, especially when it comes to having a family. But get into the topics for like networking. I'm able to to talk to folks and call jobs and make some phone calls and some texts, because I built a network over these last 7-8 years, right? Probably longer than that, you know what I'm saying? Because I did create a network when I was in the Army. Unfortunately, the Army is like a very fractured entity when it comes to like when you leave a duty station. It's a very good chance you may not see the person ever again, you know what I'm saying? Unless you was really close to him or her. And even then, they may live in another state. There's so many factors, you know what I'm saying? Because, folks that join the military comes with all facets of life. Even though I may be really cool and friends with them while I'm at that unit, when we leave, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very good chance we may not be able to get to see each other again, because we move on to different things, you know what I'm saying? So my job network really has been solidified as I've been here in Virginia and DC, because these folks live here, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these folks that live here don't plan on leaving. You know what I'm saying? They have jobs here, they have families here. So over the last 7 years, I've created a network of folks. Well, I've been at these contracting jobs where if I need a favor, I can call some folks, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I've been doing. As soon as I, felt like stuff was going to be off a little bit, let me go ahead and call my old supervisor. He's still here. He lives in Springfield, you know what I'm saying? Let me call him, see what's going on with him. And then I called two other folks, send some texts out. I don't play around, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to my money, I don't play around. And the network that I built around myself is like a blanket, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm able to fall back on these folks if I need some help when it comes to financials. Not as for like borrowing money, but it's for like employment, you know what I'm saying? And in the job market these days, man, like you need a network. You cannot be in a job market and be a lone wolf, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? You can't get a job that's just paying good money, and then you become the a-hole of the company, right? You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to talk to you. Nobody wants to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? And then when you leave that job, literally nobody wants to deal with you after you leave the job. So let's say you get another job, and then all of a sudden that job falls through. You can't even call back your old company and actually ask them for a favor. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's why, building a bridge and not burning it is really big, yo. It really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you leave jobs, the best thing you can do for yourself is not piss people off. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to you transitioning from a job, even when you move to a different position inside the company. You know what I'm saying? Let's say that you're an admin clerk, and then all of a sudden you want to become an IT person. So you move from the secretary's office to the help desk. You know what I'm saying? Do you really want to piss off the folks at the admin office when you go to the help desk? You know what I'm saying? That's a lifeline. That's a connection inside the company. You know what I'm saying? So, when you pivot around a company, you want to make sure the bridge is not burnt. And you definitely don't want to burn the bridge when you leave a company because you never know who you need, man. You never know who you're gonna need. You never know who you're gonna have to call. And it's the same thing with folks that work with you. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody burned a bridge with you, and then months later they call you and ask you for a favor, you may not be susceptible to actually help that person. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, it's been very, very few times that somebody has really got on my nerves and pissed me off or something, and I did not help them. That's just me, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like you can burn a bridge with me, but I know people are human. I know things happen. And, I'm just one of the people that I have a really big heart. And even if somebody has done me wrong, it's hard for me to do somebody else wrong, especially if they need help. If they call me or text me and I know they burnt a bridge with me, that means I know I'm their last line of defense. You know what I'm saying? So, for me to deny them help, it doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because as a Christian, we're supposed to forgive people. We're supposed to be able to put ourselves in a position to where we remove the feelings when it comes to how we feel about that person, and we look at things objectively, and we look at folks as human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like if they call me and text me, then that means they need my help. They could have screwed me over, but they still need my help. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that type of person to be denying somebody. But I know there's plenty of folks that are not like that. You know what I'm saying? They will, you burn a bridge with them, and they could care less about you being down and out, right? So you have to really put that in perspective. You know what I'm saying? When you actually had a job and you wind up having beef with somebody, you leave that job, and the beef might have festered so much that that you literally cannot call that job for anything anymore. And that's a bad situation to be in, man. It really is. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, what I'm saying, from a masculine perspective, a lot of folks will put themselves in the mind state where if I leave this job, I don't need you. That's not true a lot of times, yo. It really is, you know what I'm saying? There's so many opportunities that you can deny yourself if you burn a bridge and don't network while you're inside that job, right? Me being in DC and just around this area for the last 7 years, I have built a huge network where I can really lean on people and lean on companies. And I mean, they can hire me, they can not hire me. It all depends, you know what I'm saying? But even if I call somebody and they don't have an opportunity for me, they can lead me to the right direction. And I think a lot of folks that got laid off, fired, terminated, in the federal government, I think a lot of these folks did not network. And that's the reason why, these folks are panicking, and the anxiety is through the roof, because they put themselves in a box. And, once they got let go from their job, it's like, I can't even call anybody to help me as far as trying to find another job. It's a bad situation, you know what I'm saying? So in any case, I'm telling you right now, y'all, network. If you are an introvert, get out of introvertedness and be an extrovert when it comes to networking inside of a job. It'll save your life. It will, you know what I'm saying? People get fired every day, yo. People get let go every day. People get terminated every day. People get laid off every day. So for you not to have a network to call or to lean on when you get laid off and get let go from a job, it's a bad situation, yo. It really is, you know what I'm saying? Because you put applications in, nobody knows you. They got AI filtering out applications to where you may not even get an interview and get denied from a computer program. It's crazy. But anyway, drop some comments in the comment section below. Let me know what y'all think. Like I said, I'm gonna be in DC for today and tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens, yo. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. When we discuss this topic or subject to the benefit of your channel, email me asog757@gmail.com. My email address is below. Say so G, signing out. I'm gone.